other people who might want to start this business or who are at crossroads as to how to continue doing their business. But I'll start by saying that right from the start, it's not like I knew that I was going to do this. I didn't know I was going to do this. I was going through a difficult pregnancy and I had to stop work. So sitting at home, waiting to have my baby, I started to toy with the idea of making clothes just to keep myself busy. And then I thought, how about trying to learn how to make the clothes? As in, that was the initial plan, to learn how to make the clothes. So initially, it was just to keep myself busy, but I ended up not doing anything about it. So, because I was having a difficult pregnancy. So when I started, I knew next to nothing about making clothes. So I decided the next thing was to go to learn how to make this, how to, cut, make patterns, or, just so that I knew something about it and not just start like that. And at the time that I went to learn, I came back, I had a little baby in my hands. I couldn't start immediately. So I thought, okay, when this baby is, a little bit grown, I would do this thing. But then I suddenly found myself pregnant with twins again. As in, this baby was only 1 year old. And then I was pregnant again, and I found out that I was going to have twins. So I said, you know what? Pregnancy or no pregnancy, I'm going to have to do this thing. So I decided with the help of my mom. So my mom said, you know what? Let these babies grow a bit. Then I would let you go, because as at that time, all that I had learned, because I hadn't put it to work, it was like I had to start from ground zero. So she says, let these babies be a bit grown, and then you will just go and start over again. So I waited for the twins to turn 1. They turned 1 in June of that year. And by the first week in July, I was gone. I enrolled at the London College of Fashion for the short courses that they offer. So this is not a long-term program. It's just, short-term courses. So there were some courses that were like for 1 week. There were others that were for like 8 weeks, So every few months, maybe after like the first 2 months, I had to go back home. So I did this for like 1 year. And that's how I got the training. For the technical part of garment making. So that's how I started off. Of course, when I got back, I realized that dressmaking, as we say in Nigeria, is not beans. Beans as in B-E-A-N-S. That's what we call it. It's not beans. It's something that you need to do every day. You spend your 24 hours, 7 days a week doing it. It's not something that you just do to keep yourself busy. You do it and you continue to get neck deep in it. And I found myself, being pulled in tighter and tighter into, continuing to learn the ropes, continuing to want to hone my skills. And eventually what just started as a simple matter, I saw that it grew into a business. So that's how come I got into the business of garment production. And it didn't just end there. So we're into the business of garment design, the production, and the retail of women's clothing. So I run a women's clothing company, a proudly Nigerian women's clothing company called DEOLA. from Lagos. What we do is we make clothing, we make women's garments from traditional, locally produced fabric, batik and adire. We do this along with leather handbags. So we make our clothing for women who want to, the winning woman who wants to stand out. That's our De La Big woman. The winning woman who wants to stand out in style.
Thank you very much there, Deola. Now, for the sake of clarity and for those that may be watching this show, would you tell the people, your company, clients, and the market, the local market, the regional market, and the international market, what sort of people are interested in your products?
So right now, a lot of women that we serve are Nigerian women, most of them in Lagos. Lagos is the commercial hub of Nigeria. I live in Lagos, I reside in Lagos, so most of my clientele base is in Lagos. But we do serve women, Nigerian women, from other states, like Abuja, the federal capital city. We serve women in Benin, Port Harcourt. We reach them by logistics. We reach them through logistic companies. Our customers, our clients, they are modern women who have a deep yearning to look beautiful and to express their confidence. So these are the women that we serve. They're modern day corporate. What did you say?
It's okay, you can go ahead.
They're modern day corporate women. They run their own businesses. They are seeking, they're on a journey of discovery. They're on a journey of discovery. They're seeking ways to express themselves in the real sense of who they are. So they're constantly seeking for clothes that would make them do this easily. So these are the women that we serve.
My last question within this first segment is going to focus then on your training. You had to go to London to learn the trade. What is the difference? Why did you pick on London instead of Nigeria?
So prior to that, I had tried to learn the art of pattern making. Pattern making is a shortcut to learning the art of dressmaking. So most of what is offered in Nigeria, well, at the time that I started, most of what was offered is what we call freehand. The people who are the dressmakers or the fashion designers work with teaching from their own personal experience. There was no formal method to teaching how to make clothes, how to cut, and there's a science and art to cutting. So I wasn't satisfied with what I was being shown. So I kept on inquiring on the internet, looking for what's the best way to learn this thing. There's an art and science to this thing. There were random things being told to me every day. So the same person is saying, do it this way, and tomorrow she's saying something else. So I wanted a precise methodology to it. And the only way I could get that was through pattern making. And at the time, I didn't find pattern making schools or individuals who could show me what it was all about. I didn't find. So from my research on the internet, I found out that the London College of Fashion could give me what I wanted. Not a full-time program, because I had little babies to take care of. I had 3 babies to look after. So that's how I ended up going to London.
Thank you very much for that. We're just going to go for a short break. When we come back, we are going to proceed talking to you in terms of your business. Our viewers internationally, stay with us as we continue talking to Deola about her business.
Success for Tel 1 means success for businesses, government departments, and all our residential clients, bringing into play a digitally enabled society by 2023. Tel 1 offers superfast, affordable, and dedicated internet services across the country over fiber, copper, or satellite to meet the customer's needs, location, and budget. All of this can be secured with virtual private networks. Cloud services and the data center allow you, our customers, to store, manage, and disseminate all your data in a state-of-the-art private facility. Business talk has become more affordable with our voice over internet protocol. VoIP allows you to make voice calls using any broadband internet connection and has massive potential savings as a cheaper mode of communication, making business processes more efficient and profitable. The use of unified business communication for our corporate clients offers a competitive advantage by managing multiple tools such as phone, video conferencing, email, customer service, and more. Stay connected all the time and bring your business up to speed with Tel 1. Tel 1, bringing you together.
Deola, welcome back. We're still talking to you in terms of your company. Now, I would want to understand from you, why should people come and buy from your business?
Thank you very much, Shepard. We give the extra. We have encouraged Nigerian women to see the beauty in our traditional fabrics. Prior to this time, a lot of the women shied away from wearing made in Nigeria. So we are one of the pioneers of made in Nigerian fashion. The women have embraced it, they love it, because we put in a little extra. So they would come to us because they know that we use quality fabrics, we use precise cutting methods, the fit is superb, and we always have that extra. So for the woman who wants to be unconventional in her ways, because what we're doing is we're fusing our traditional methods with modern fashion. So for the woman who wants to wear the traditional fabrics, like the batik and tie and dye is commonly known as adire in Nigeria, and it's made by the women of southwest Nigeria. They are the ones who have made it popular and still ingrained into our culture. So if they want that, for any woman who appreciates art, who appreciates indigenous fabric, and who appreciates that a lot of hard work goes into garment manufacture, at least locally, because of all the impediments that come with the lack of technology and all of that. That's why they will keep coming to us, because they know that a lot of work has gone into it, and all that we have as the impetus to deliver good quality clothes to them is that we want to make them look beautiful. We want to make them look beautiful. So they will keep coming to us for that.
There is no company that runs without a vision. And I would want to find out from you, what's your vision? What is it that you are planning for your company for the next 5 to 10 years?
Our vision is to create jobs and to go into, to investigate ways in which textile companies in Nigeria can grow again. So the reason why we are working with Adire and Batik is a deliberate effort. We want to be able to revive the textile industry in Nigeria through our use of local fabric. That is our vision for industrialization in the textile industry. So that's what we're looking towards. We want to train women, and then we want to make sure that the base fabric, because for now, the base fabric that the textiles are being designed on, so this is all surface design. The base fabric is still being imported. It saddens my heart every time when I have to, purchase imported fabric for our textile designers to do the prints on. So the surface design print is all that is locally made. The base fabric is imported. So our vision is to provide jobs in the textile industry and work towards revamping our textile industry. So my vision is to make sure that we carry out research that will enable these traditional fabrics of batik and adire to be done on locally produced base fabrics of cotton and polyester or whatever we will use.
Thank you very much. Now I want to find out from you, for the benefit of our viewers, in terms of marketing and advertising as a function, how critical it is within your business.
Marketing is the most important thing that an entrepreneur should get involved in. So a lot of us, because we're creatives, we think that that is all there is in the creative space. But creativity is one thing. Getting your product into the hands of the end users is another thing. And it is such an important thing that all our 80% of our efforts should be geared towards marketing. Marketing in terms of advertisements on the regular traditional ways of marketing, and also the new technology of using social media and digital technology. Marketing is very important, because what's the point of making the products if you can't get them into the hands of the consumers? It must be seen. They must know that this product exists. And so all our efforts, our daily efforts should be geared towards making sure that consumers are able to access the product. We do situate our stores in a place where they're easily accessible. The price is good. We do the promotion, and I forget what the last P of marketing is now. So marketing is something that I take very seriously.
Thank you very much, Deola, for that. We're just going to go for another second break. When we come back, we'll have entered the third and final segment of our show. To our international guests and to our international viewers, may you continue watching. When we come back, Deola is going to tell us a bit more in terms of what happens in the fashion industry in Nigeria.
To what one know if this feeling flows both ways, sad to see go, sort of hoping that you stay. Maybe never know when I'm with you, 'cause I always do. Maybe I'm too yours to fall for you. Now I've got it.
Our international viewers and all those that are watching us all over the world, welcome back to the show. In today's show, we're talking to Deola. She is an entrepreneur. She runs a successful clothing fashion company in Nigeria. Deola, welcome back.
Thank you.
Deola, you have talked to us in terms of your vision. You have talked to us in terms of who are your clients, where is your market. Now, I would want us to move on to the next critical thing that entrepreneurs have got to embrace. This is to do with leadership. How critical and important is the aspect of leadership when one is running a business?
Thank you very much, Shepard. Leadership is very important in steering the ship in the right direction. A leader is someone who can see how things can be improved and who rallies people to move toward the better vision. So, and that can only happen when you put the people in your organization first. The employees are a very important part of the organization. So just being able to motivate people isn't enough. We need to be have a lot of emotional intelligence. We need to have a lot of empathy and connect with people so as to be successful. So you don't have to come from the same background with them before you can lead them, but you must have that empathy. You must have emotional intelligence to be able to lead people properly. And for it to be a successful kind of leadership, it must be a servant leader kind of relationship. So yes, leadership is important because people need to be steered in the right direction. There must be proper organization in the company.
Deola, the fashion industry, from my understanding, is very dynamic. The styles are constantly changing. What is it that one has got to do if you're an entrepreneur in a fashion industry for you to stay relevant?
Yes, I agree with you that fashion is constantly changing. There are so many things that can be done. I don't want to use cliches, but first and foremost, you need to study trends to stay relevant in the fashion industry. It's really important to study trends so that one can stay innovative. So one way is to search online for videos on topics of interest. If you watch these videos, you're getting free relevant lessons, as in training or education doesn't have to be paid for all the time. If you need to pay for training, pay for it. But if you can access free learnings, that's absolutely fine too. Today's consumers are far less brand loyal than consumers from before, from 5-10 years ago. The landscape has changed. So this means that you have to work extra hard. You have to work extra hard to keep your customers coming back for more, because the aim and objective is to find customers and to retain them. So you need to work extra hard so that they don't go running to the competition, and you can increase your bottom line. So you have to know what people are buying now that they weren't buying before. What new things can you introduce? Are they asking for specific things, you know? So you need to make things that your customers want. And the only way to do this is to research their buying behavior. You need to know the buying behavior of your target market and identify hot trends. You need to keep learning, like I said. Being busy is no excuse not to learn. You need to learn. You must actively seek out opportunities to stay abreast of what is happening in your industry. So, like watching the videos, you have to buy the magazines, attend conferences, as in there are things happening around being organized by the industry thought leaders or, you know, consultants. So it's not enough to pay for courses or subscribe without attending and implementing. You know, you have to implement whatever it is that you are learning. You need to study your competitors. How can you reach your competitors? By researching them on their social media. You need to know what they're doing. And the real advantage is in keeping an eye on what the competition is doing so that you can save time and save money. If somebody else has done a research on something, there must be a reason for it. As in, if your competitors are doing a particular thing, there must be a reason for it. So you have to be able to know what your competition is doing. So those are some of the ways that we have tried to stay relevant in the industry.
Deola, a lot of people I have talked to, they normally give an excuse of lack of seed capital to start and run a business. From your own experience, how can people go about looking for seed capital to start and run businesses?
Usually, when you are starting off, it's difficult to ask investors for money, being that you're just starting. So most of the time, the best place to start is with friends and family. You start with friends and family. Of course, you also have to have put something aside as the entrepreneur. You need to have put something aside. And then you now approach friends and family to, give an assistance or something. It might be financially, it might be in kind, leverage on your relationships with people so that at least you get that initial capital that is needed. So I don't think it's going to work out as at the time that you're starting to approach investors, as in I mean the real investors, for seed capital. What you need to concentrate on is to find out, research all the ways, focus on your focus, research all the things that you need to do to make the business work. Research it well, make sure you have a document, as in that's what you need to start with. Once you are able to lay out your plans well, it becomes easier to approach people for capital. You must be able to raise out your plans well, how you plan to execute and implement the business. It's more important than even the money, the capital you're seeking. Most times, especially with creative people, you don't need so much to start out. You don't need so much to start the initial thing. Now, when growth comes, you can start looking for additional funds. But with what can be gotten from friends and family, it's usually enough to start. Start small, grow organically, and then by the time the business grows and there's you're keeping to business management terms in running the business, it will be easy to approach investors or other people who would give you a large capital to run.
Thank you very much, Deola. Now I would want to find out from you, the COVID-19 pandemic has not spared anyone, has not spared any business. How has it affected your particular business?
Thank you. My heart is saddened because there was a lot of loss, human loss, body counts experienced by families all over the world. I wish that the Lord gives all of the families affected, He gives them succor to be able to deal with loss of family and loved ones. It is true that COVID-19 came. It came upon us suddenly. suddenly, if truth is told, it caused not some disruption, it's caused a lot of disruption in daily life and in economic life. For us, in the fashion ecosystem in Nigeria, getting our supplies hasn't been easy. So the markets had to be closed because of the social distancing and wanting to flatten the curve. So the markets were closed initially. So we had no access to, our staff couldn't come to work. We couldn't go anywhere. The markets were closed. Flights were not coming in. Nigeria is an economy that depends a lot on imports. All of the things that we use to make in production, to make the clothes, from thread to the sewing machines, to zippers, elastic, you know, everything that we use is imported. Not even the pins are made in Nigeria. Not the pins, not the needles, you know. So for a country that is so heavily dependent on imports like that, it had a huge downturn on our business. So even after the lockdown was eased a bit, there were still restrictions in accessing the market, the local market, to our suppliers. Even up till now, as I'm speaking, the market is not open today, being Thursday. So there's some restrictions. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays are the market days. Any other day in between, you can't get to your suppliers. So getting our supplies is one thing. So also our customers are unable to reach us because of the lockdown. A lot of people are now gearing more towards setting up websites and transacting business online. So that's what we have been doing. I just finished setting up my website 2 days ago. It's something I've been working on, but at least I've gotten it to a point where I can conduct business on it now. I've registered, I've done my shipment, I've done that bit on shipment, I've done the bit on, you know, payment, so we can work officially using the website now. But what we have been doing before now is selling on Instagram, selling using WhatsApp, people transfer money online through the bank apps, you know. We've been conducting business. It affected sales, no doubt, but we've been going on despite it all. We've been going on. So we're still selling, maybe not making as much revenue as before, but things are not grounded to a store. Things have not been stalled totally. We're still being able to conduct business, but has COVID-19 affected business or not? Yes, it has. It has affected business, but we're getting a grip of it.
Thank you very much, Deola. I am very sure that a lot of our international and local viewers have actually benefited from the exchanges that we have been having. Now, I would want you to take this opportunity to inspire, encourage, and talk to other entrepreneurs. What are your last words?
I would say that in all things, go to the source for help. Whatever name you have given to the source that is bigger than all of us. Go to that source for help, because help abounds mostly in the time of need. Look up above for help, for inspiration, and for strength. Now, the next thing that I would say is always put a lot of effort into thinking and reflecting. we have to exercise the power of thought in our daily lives. Put a lot of thinking and reflecting on what your plans are and on how to go about executing and implementing them. Focus on your focus. Stay strong. Don't give up. When challenges come your way, that's when to stay strong. Don't give up. Always put money aside, save for the rainy day, and learn the business side of things. Acquire the right skills and make sure that you utilize these skills, you utilize the knowledge and resources in the right way that will grow your business. So those are my closing thoughts. I hope they inspire somebody out there.
Thank you very much for what you have talked to us in terms of entrepreneurship, the advice, the motivation, the encouragement that you have given to other entrepreneurs as well as those that may be aspiring to run their own business. To our viewers across the globe, we have been talking to an entrepreneur, Deola, who is based in Nigeria. She runs a successful fashion and clothing company. May you continue to watch our shows as we continue to talk to various entrepreneurs. We have got a lot to share, such that we continue to make sure that we shorten the learning curve. May you remember to subscribe and watch out for our future shows. Deola, thank you very much for the time.